profitable poker player. So I'm making money at those.
I know, but again, it comes down to, just the hard statistics. But I mean, to say that, see, what you're really describing is predation, meaning that you're not the only one at that table who recognized that this woman is the patsy. And so, but that's almost like knowing that you're the higher level predator than her. Um, but then the craziest things happen in poker where you're like, how the fuck did this bitch just win that hand? Like, what in the fuck? Like, this shouldn't have happened. This is fucked. And so, I think that is like the real terror that every poker player lives with who's, had average, to great success. Meaning that like it's so random that like to try to think that your brain can outcalculate random is insane. So it's really just a job. It's the same thing as trading in the market because it just today a lot of people got fucked again. Some people made great out again. It's like how you always got 6 out of 10 times you got to be on the winning side. I mean even then you're only making a certain percentage. So I don't know. I think poker is kind of a waste of time to tell you the truth. Like the real game is stock options because you can make 14 times your money, 45 times your money in one round, which is incredible. So there's no return on investment in the way that call options or put options can
I'm
return.
just not educated. I'm educated, like I'm sort of educated in the stock market. But I'm not. I'm certainly not educated in options trading. I just know like technical indicators. I know different like Bollinger Bands and
It's just calendar. It's just calendar events. You're trading off of earnings releases or crazy black swans like Trump saying, "I'm dropping the tariffs." And
Are you a professional trader?
I've been trading the stock market since 1999, but I'm not a successful trader. I'm just saying that if it would, if I could have my dream come true, it would be, to manage millions of dollars in the market and gamble with it because it's a lot of fun. It's a huge dopamine rush.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there are two sides of the same coin. I think that in trading, right, you're trading with others. Like when you buy a stock, you're buying it from someone who's selling it at that exact same time, right? When you're buying it, you're making a claim that I believe the stock is going to go up, and the person selling it says, "Well, I believe the stock is going to go down." Right? So there is a winner and a loser in the stock market, just like there's a winner and a loser in poker.
I mean, if you're really good at trading in the market and you have a lot of money, obviously it's all programmatic, and it's actually a team of software developers and mathematicians and statisticians working as a team to basically manage, the assets under management. And you're talking about hundreds of billions.
Dream. Oh my God! If I could use data analytics to create to go into algorithmic trading, that is like the ultimate.
Well, I have two friends who are successful poker players and very successful, and one of them him and I started a business. It was called pokerpeeper.com, and it was based off of like Shark something. It was some kind of tracking platform where it was recording all of these online poker rooms, and then they were using that data and analytics to modify their poker play, or to target certain players because they're looking.
That's excellent. Yeah.
But anyways, we canceled the business and shut it down because it was just costing so much money to run it, and we didn't have any subscribers.
Really?
Yeah, it was costing me a lot of money on the server, and I mean we invested thousands of dollars, and it was a pretty cool product, but it wasn't.
It's all it costs, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I had a team in India. They're like super educated, super successful. I've given them like $50,000 in like offshoring business, and they're just like a doctor master level software developers living in Jaipur, India.
Yeah.
They moved to.
I think I really do think if your costs are as low as thousands of dollars a month, I think there's certainly still a business in that. I think that
the whole project was only like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and I think the monthlies were like just low couple hundred. But what's the point?
How could this have not worked?
I had to shut it all down. I had to shut it down. But the thing is, there's subscription services where you can probably just get that data. And it's Shark something. I can't remember the name of the tracking software. Shark Poker, something Shark. But
there's certain it's called a HUD in poker to be able to track your opponent's performance over time.
mm-hmm.
It's called a HUD. But the problem with the HUD is it only tracks performance against you. It only tracks performance against you, like performance that it's looking at, right? If I could have a HUD that leveraged not only the performance of like what I've with the software has seen me versus them, but just their entire lifetime on that site.
Mm-hmm.
If it were able to collect that data, I would be able to play much better poker against them because I'd have a much larger data set.
Right. I don't know if it's legal. Maybe these companies don't allow tracking and data analytics.
It'd be amazing. I mean, if you if I were just going to be like a little think tank here for a second, is if you were able to connect a HUD to a GTO solver to give you so the GTO solver could actually tell you how to exploit and by how much you should exploit in any given spot if the solver is given enough data. So you'd be able to play like just
perfect poker,
the most ridiculous profitable poker ever if you were able to connect the data over a long stretch of time for any given opponent and connect it to a GTO solver and be able to, and then you'd be able to connect anything that they do, literally anything they do.
Yeah.
You could just say, okay, if there was a way to algorithmically
it's basically the same thing it's the same thing as chess essentially.
Yeah, it becomes like you have a chess computer, right? Except you're playing chess for hundreds or thousands of dollars, right? With a chess computer, right? That would be the dream.
I wonder how much of that is actually happening because people have to have essentially AI poker players now, making money.
Yeah, they totally do. And what a lot of people do is they play. I don't want to get you can tell me to shut up when I part of this, but I want to get a little geeky here. There's something called equilibrium in GTO, Game Theory Optimal, which is basically like if it were rock, paper, scissors, it's the exact middle of 33% rock, 33% paper, 33% scissors. So no matter if you played this rock, paper, scissors opponent, you'd never be able to win over the long run because they're unexploitable. They're completely randomly picking rock, paper, or scissors 33% of the time. That's equilibrium. That solver is relatively easy to obtain, and a lot of people have implemented AI GTO players in poker. That's doable. But the harder thing to do is to exploit based off of a HUD and be able to find some way of putting those exploits in the GTO solver and then have the GTO solver recommend the best play based off of those exploits. That's like the next level of but that's also another reason I only play live. I've never played online for real money. I played maybe micro stakes, 1 cent, 2 cent, but I only play live because I am terrified of this reality of computers just absolutely just destroying me and me never knowing how much of a skill deficit I have because I'm using my puny human brain. But yeah, one of the things I think about.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it eventually becomes like an organization, to a certain extent, of people who essentially manage a cash flow. I mean, I've worked at .coms that do big arbitrage numbers, and it's a team of developers that are just constantly optimizing, managing, and really just maintaining the cash flow and the traffic flow. So I mean, to do the online poker thing would be awesome and fun. But if it does break terms of service or something, I mean, it's the same exact
Of
thing
course it would.
as like getting banned from a casino in person because you're a card counter and they know that you have an edge against the house to a certain extent and they, don't want you there. So, what's the
You know what you could
difference?
do though is, Adrian, you could build. Once you create this perfect, absolute killer of a poker player, you could actually induce mistakes on purpose to show that, to make your robot look more human.
Yeah.
Like just enough to just to skirt
Yeah, just enough.
the
Yeah.
robot cops.
Yeah.
And you could even make it so that it's like scrolling a mouse over the screen like a human.
Yeah.
And make it so that it randomizes the time that it actually clicks buttons, so it doesn't click buttons at exact 1 second intervals.
It's basically like having a macro running, but then you need a systems operator to sit there and observe the macro and then maybe
actually do it.
Yeah, and do some modifications.
You pay some fucker in India to just click the mouse for you.
No, you'd probably do it yourself if you have that much money riding on it. But I mean, if you could do it, see, the other thing is you could actually extend it out across. It would be almost like identity theft, where you'd have to have multiple accounts and doing low numbers, and you spread it out across multiple accounts and multiple essentially brokerages or platforms.
Right. This is totally doable.
Yeah.
Adrian, yep. This is a doable thing. You can do this.
Well, but the thing is, my friends who are very successful multi-million-dollar poker players who are essentially retired but still play at real casinos, I don't even know if they do online anymore. I think that it's possible they do these tournaments or whatever, and they win these tournaments.
Online poker is a very real thing, and it happens on a lot of different platforms.
It's such a complicated project, though, that to even essentially achieve some type of positive return on investment and then to scale it across platform and numbers of accounts, it's is it worth it?
Yep. Yeah, it is. You just got to get you got to just get a bucket of, I don't know, 50 grand. I think 50 grand would do it. If you're telling me that you did your data collection off of, with what, $4,000, $5,000, then you probably need another $4,000 or $5,000 to be able to integrate it with a solver, right?
Mm-hmm.
And find some sort of macro that connects the two, that connects the data set with the solver. And you need a third leg that simply takes the action of a player in real time and inputs the action into the solver as well.
Yeah.
Two information streams running into the solver. You have the data set, the long-term data set, and then you have the real-time action of the opponent. Both things need to get fed into the solver to give a recommendation of what to do.
Yeah. I mean, you need to automate the database to constantly update and refresh, etc. But it's,
but it's doable. I mean, the amount of money you'd make if you made this thing, right?
Well, listen to this. How about we put this into a PDF? We take the transcript of this conversation, feed it into ChatGPT, flesh it out more, put together a 10-page brochure on an investment opportunity, and then we pitch it to multi-million-dollar poker players and say, hey, we came up with a way to automate and to, at scale, harvest and essentially skim off of all these online poker platforms. Because that's what you're really doing, is you're creating a very advanced skim.
Yep.
We're just skimming the cream off the top. But I mean, I'm not going to pursue this unless I have a business partner. So I say friends for life. You want to be 50-50 on this deal?
I mean, I'll be an advisor. Yeah,
I don't need an advisor. I got loser friends who don't partner and they call themselves advisors. I'm not saying we're putting any money into this. I'm just saying we create some marketing materials.
Yeah. Put me in. Count me in.
Okay, you're the 50-50 partner. But I mean, who's going to create the marketing materials?
The marketing, the pitch deck?
Yeah.
pitch deck.
Make the pitch deck, because I have the video of this conversation across 5 YouTubes and multiple X's and multiple clubhouses, but no one's ever going to listen to this conversation. No one's ever going to. I mean, you know, I don't know. It would be a supplementary, but it'd be something to go off of, or something we could listen back to describe the flow of the project. But
yeah, I think I could make. I've made pitch decks before. I can make them pretty.
yeah, I have 2 friends who are very successful, and they could be interested, but like they've moved on with their lives. I mean, they're invested in restaurants. They're invested in all kinds of businesses.
Yeah, 50 grand is a rounding error to them. They wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, they wouldn't care. They would be happy to invest in
throw
it.
50 grand at this. Let's say, sure, bud, give it a shot.
They know that there's more money in this than anything else that they're doing, because they
They're
know
like
there's a
50
lot of
grand
money in
at this.
poker. Yeah.
It'd be like, fuck yeah. Here's the only. Let me play devil's advocate. The only problem is that this business is. It's not legal because it would violate the terms of service.
Yeah, but this is one of the things where it's like they're not going to arrest you. What they do is just shut you down, and they close your account. But I mean, they probably will even refund you the money. They're not going to like yank the account and say, sue us, now it's ours. They're not going to debank you, because what you're really doing is just creating a poker playing algorithm to play against other people's poker playing algorithms. So the whole thing becomes ridiculous, where it's like, if you shut me down, well, then you guys are essentially partnering with this skimmer.
Here's the better idea. No. Here's the better idea. I'm going to slightly modify the idea. Is that you're not actually the one using the software. You basically build the shovel for other people to dig with, right? You build this thing that you're like, hey, you could just. It's not. You'd be like, it definitely violate the term of service of this site. But if you pay us $1,000 a month, you'll have access to this software that you definitely shouldn't use on global poker. But that would definitely integrate perfectly with their software. And we've definitely added things that show that you would never get caught. You know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
I
mean, that you could white label it. See, that's like basically white labeling it, which is another business unto itself. But I mean, if it does work and you actually have money to invest in it and you have a nice ROI, I mean, it basically becomes an automated trading platform. But
yeah, and then or you could just like, even like the piece of software that would connect. That connects the two together, right? Like if we even built the software that connects the solver and a data set and the solver and real-time action, just building that thing, just the connector piece, so that like a normal person, like given a couple,
I mean, how does it
understand?
See, this is where it becomes such an insanely complicated project that never ends. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a never-ending project, because it's like a dashboard where you're going to need to like scroll through tabs to essentially do pattern recognition and opportunity analysis. Like this is a huge spreadsheet, but the whole thing is like, it has to be like a macro where there's minimal user involvement in terms of like, I mean, you're basically choosing your targets and that's it. And like, it has to run and actually have that positive ROI. So it does become like, see, this is where now, if you go to this development team and you're like, hey, can we build this for, $15,000? Like, it's never 15,000. It just keeps going up and up and up over time, and involvement, and then frustration, and them not working on the project. It just becomes like a whole nother fucking job.
And I know coders though. I had a software company for a while. I know how to hire US based software engineers pretty cheap. And I also have a killer software engineering manager that he's run software with like 200,000 active daily users. Like, he's like the real deal.
Well, it's a nice project. It's outside of Wall Street, which is nice. It's like it's its own little marketplace that's ripe for exploitation with minimal
It's
legal
like,
repercussions.
I mean, you are truly fucking the common man, though. Like you are like so, like
Yeah, but
just
it's
like
no different.
I'm just imagining
But
just
it's
like
no different
every
that
day,
BlackRock buys all the preload trading data from Robinhood and TD Ameritrade. Like they sell their pre market or pre limit orders to all these data harvesters that pre run you on the trade. So it's all about
they're kind of doing the same thing.
it's the same exact thing. It's just speed of automation.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Let me. Here's the thing. Is yeah. My biggest problem with this current idea is it's definitely you'd really have to run it by like a lawyer to like say here's this profitable idea. How do you make it legal, right? And yeah, if I'm like gonna build a company, like it'd have to be like, and I'm asking like investors and shit. It'd have to be like a legal form of getting this money. You know, that I have better. Side note, I have better ideas than this. This is just like what I came up with, like off the cuff. I have way better ideas to pitch if you have people that are willing to invest like some serious money.
I mean, I don't know anybody that would, I mean, my advice would be not to invest in the startup. It would be to invest in these 100 different stocks that I think are going to be around for the next, couple of years. So I don't know anybody that has that kind of dough that is just like, oh, that's a great idea, John. Let me send you a check for $500,000. Good luck, and send me back at least a nice dividend every month if you can.
Yeah, I mean that is the dream, right? I need to connect. I need to connect for like 200 grand, and I have a really I have two multi-billion-dollar ideas ready to rip, ready to go.
Well, I thought I had good ideas, and then I sent them to my friends, and they're like, "Are you drinking?" I was like, "Well, yeah, but still, this is a good idea, isn't it?" They're like, "Don't talk to me again. Fuck off."
You want to hear like some of my worst ideas?
Yeah, go for it.
They're moderately entertaining. So this is the trash bin, but I had an idea called moneyjuggler.com, where you would get like a loan for like let's say $1,000, okay, and then you get another loan for $1,000, okay, and then you pay for loan one with loan two, and then you pay for loan two with like loan. You create this like thing where like let's say you have like two credit cards, right? You have two credit cards, and then you can like pay credit card one with credit card two, and you can pay credit card two with credit card one, and then if you just got a piece of software to just pay one with the other, like one, within the amount of time that it takes to pay a bill, you could hypothetically never pay either of those credit cards off ever. You could just have software just paying one after the other, just juggling the money indefinitely, and then you could just spend it and just like never pay the money back because you have this like money juggler juggling the money for you.
Okay, so what's your other bad idea?
Other bad idea is that you have that strippers don't. That's a cash only business. They don't allow like credit card payments. So I was imagining a butt plug that took a credit card swiper and mixed the two together. So you have a credit card butt plug to pay exotic dancers with.
Interesting. Do you have any other bad ideas?
ideas. That's a good start to all the bad ideas I have. Well, anyway, I gotta go.
Wait, do you think those are all just projections of your poker career? I mean, do you sit on a butt plug with a credit card machine, and then I guess the first projection was the money juggler? Those are all just projections, right? We're just confirming. Actually, you're on a hidden camera show called Projection, but thanks for being on the show.
I'm happy to be here.
Just remember, all communication is projection.
Right. Yeah, I guess there are lessons that I haven't learned yet, and I'm projecting. Yeah, I think the Kristen thing was, the poker, when I was talking about the other poker player, like that definitely was projection, because that's like my greatest fear. But with the other ones, I'm not sure. I don't think so. But
Du jetzt hierher, der so ein großes Maul hat. Christus war, soviel ich weiß, duldsam. Und wenn ihm einer widersprochen hat, dann hat er versucht, ihn zu überzeugen. Hat mir gesagt, halt deine Schnauze. Nein, er hat nicht gesagt, halt die Schnauze. Er hat eine Peitsche genommen und hat ihm in die Fresse gehauen. Das hat er gemacht. Du dumme Sau. Und das kann dir auch passieren. Ihr sollt der Gemeinheit nicht widerstehen. Wenn dich jemand schlägt, dann schlage nicht zurück. Ich habe darauf gewartet, dass du Großmaul den Mut hast, mich zu schlagen. Das ist etwas anderes. Darf ich was sagen? Ich will jetzt was sagen. Kann ich jetzt was sagen? Ich will jetzt was sagen. Ich weiß nicht. Bitte.
Genau, Kind, der die Gewalt ablehnt, lässt hier einen Friedlichen, der diskutieren will, von seiner Leitware die Treppe runterschossen. Das sind faschistische Methoden. Und Kinski ist ein Faschist, ein Psychopath. Kinski soll nicht... Warum das nicht auswählen?
Naja, du gehörst ja auch zu denen, die ihn ins Kreuz geschlagen haben. Deswegen sage ich das.
Nicht als Haftstreicher.
Wäret ihr doch wenigstens heiß. Oder wenigstens kalt. Aber ihr seid nur lauwarm und ich spucke euch aus.
Ich bin zu Pfeffer.
Du weißt dabei auch nur nicht, dass ich auch solche Krimis nicht für einen Schwachsinnigen gemacht habe, wie du bist.
Because
I didn't get a location.
if it's the Amsterdam one, because there are a lot of articles about this, it was in October 2023.
Wait a second, you found it already?
Yeah.
Women are sleuths.
I just googled Gloria Hole dad. And
Now
it
you
threw
killed the prisoner and you let
hundreds
that
of
bastard
articles about it.
Santana go. So we'll just argue instead.
Ex-Amsterdam, ex-Lily
Come on now.
Yeah.
Amsterdam dead, Glory Hole London. Is it
Yeah.
fake?
Put down your toys. Ollie, come on, drop them. The ones in the actors too. That's
Impossible.
It says right now there's a pretty
Listen,
disturbing
boys, I
story
know
of a
my
hen
house.
and stag do
And
in
you will
Amsterdam
see,
that
but-
goes very wrong, going viral, and honestly it's
Well, check out
horrific.
his ears.
The story is being shared across Twitter and WhatsApp and is one of those classic urban myth style stories that is so gross.
I told you all to stay put.
This from Amsterdam. Yes.
She said her friend Amelia has a friend called Ellie who is in a house share in London. Ellie shares with a bunch of girls, and one of the girls told her she had just been on a hen do in Amsterdam, where the stag do was there too. Okay, so the stag do and the hen do went to Amsterdam. The
What's
whole
a stag
thing.
do and a hen do?
So a stag do is like a bachelor's party before you get married, and the hen do is the women version.
Okay.
So stag do and hen do. The whole thing was joined. They are a mixed social group of people who all knew each other, so decided to do one big event all together. She said one of the days all the girls on the hen decided to go one way, and the boys on the stag decided to go another. One of the girls with the hens got super drunk and went into a booth with a glory hole. Being drunk, the girl just decided to give head to the guy on the other side of the wall through the hole. Then there's a twist. Apparently, there's a button in these booths where if both people push it, they can reveal the identity of the person on the other side, as the wall becomes see-through like a window. Again, being drunk, the girl thought it would be hilarious to see who it had been. She pushes the button, looks up, and it's her dad from the stag do. The voice note concludes, apparently the stag... Oh, shit. Wait. Apparently the stag and the hen do all went home early because it was so traumatic. The girl has fallen out with all her family. The mom has found out and is not speaking to the dad. It's broken up the whole family. Right. As with all these urban myth-style stories, it's always a friend of a friend of a friend that this happened to. It should always be taken with a pinch of salt. Since it has blown up, it has been proven the story can't actually be true. Can't. And someone claiming to be friends with Charlotte Walton has called her story bullshit. At least the memes reacting to the story are hilarious.
I share the link if you would like. Basically, it's a hoax.
Yeah, it's a hoax. It says debunked. The viral Amsterdam stag and hen do story didn't happen, I'm afraid.
They did. They went to Amsterdam. They checked with places with glory holes. None of them have like a button. Usually, it's mostly like for gay men, so they were jamming women away. From company do this shit. So
Potentially, there is such a thing in Amsterdam. I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, nobody's saying that it doesn't exist. It's just that the daughter died.
no, I mean the glory hole exists, but not with the button, the screen, and not for women usually.
But in Amsterdam, like I have been in many different cities and countries.
I was gonna say I've been in many different glory holes.
I mean, people certain people in my judgment are naked, but most of all I come black people are nice people. My president, I'm American citizen, my country president is Mr. President Mr. Obama, Barack Obama. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not Mr. Barack Obama. I'm a skinny, but I'm not.
In the red light district, you go through these like very narrow streets, and you have like a lot of windows. You know, like the doors. There are windows with blinds. You know, that these blinds that you just shut down. But so they're all open, and they have got like neon lights inside. And it's like window shopping for prostitutes. So they're like dancing out the window, like one. They just door you get in, and then the light is shut. But they're like there, like dancing, you know, in each of the windows that are doors, and so you can get in. They're like, you know, like Barbies in their boxes, and you just like once go in.
this
Yeah.
country.
Look,
She
he's
was
not
very
realized
proud
that
of his
probably every guy in
clubs.
this
Virgin Clubs
that.
is not just that.
I don't know. I'm just saying that what I saw and I thought it was shocking.
But there is something new. I'm not sure if you have seen or not. They have the same thing for the men too.
Oh,
If
no.
you go to the street, you will see men behind of the glass and you can buy them. That's the actual
Why not? I mean, it makes
The
sense.
chief said that his club was 130. They were rated 90 pounds, but 90-pound clubs is very heavy.
I found the women there gorgeous.
The Dutch woman.
Yeah, I mean, I had no interest in women like this.
Introducing the challenger, the Iron Sheik. I'm not sure if you have been beaten on the bed. If not,
Only one. She was really gorgeous.
sure. I mean, she was really good. Maybe the highest building. I'm not sure if you're from England or not. Egyptian women, they have something. Anytime with the training, the Egyptian women, they have something that you can't find in the West. I mean, the women in the Netherlands, they are super pretty, but they do not have that spice that the women, the Egyptian men need that. It's something you don't want to explain to them. It seems that the women have the view of Porsche, but the motor Volkswagen at the end of the day. In Europe, when I have something serious, the motor is not serious. They just don't have that taste that you can find in Italy, which is something that you might consider if you have tried both sides.
Sounds like you like Middle Eastern or something.
Well, I'm Middle Eastern.
I mean, you want to hear my story of the Dutch girl?
Surely, go on.
Okay. So I met her towards the end of my stay, and it was flirtatious.
When was this?
And so I met her towards.
How old are you? If you want to say. So,
No.
How old am I? 39. So I met her, and okay, it was flirtatious, nice. You know, we went out for coffee. We went like for a walk. We went to the market. We had bread and stuff and herring. No, we didn't do any of that. Okay, so that was it. I go back to New York. She's there. Few phone calls. Long distance in those days. A couple of letters. It was actually before the internet and stuff. Okay, she gets married. She comes to. I meet her in Seattle. She's with her husband, who looks like a bird of some kind. He doesn't look like a guy with a big bald head, big mustache. I didn't get it. She's gorgeous. They're traveling the world together. I guess he was a geologist. He was retired, so she's with him. Okay, 10 years go by, and I'm in Houston, and I get my messages from my answering machine. And she's on my answering machine. She's I left my husband. I want to come see you. 10 years later, literally. You want to hear a little more?
yeah, go on. I'm listening.
Okay. So one thing that had happened to them, one thing that they did was they went on safari in Africa, and on this safari, they were attacked by brigands, which are like land pirates, and they hit one of the people in their group with a poisoned dart, and he died in the jungle, and they had to carry him out. All right, that's a sort of a side story. So the reason why she broke up with her husband went blind. Okay, and he's obviously supporting her. She didn't have to work, and at some point they had an argument, and she told him that every orgasm that she had with him, she had faked. And he left her on the spot, blind. He walked away from her, got on the trolley, and left her. So she was single. Interesting so far?
I bet you didn't see that coming.
Not bad, that's pretty good.
Yo, Slick Rick, what's up, brother? How y'all doing? How's
What
everybody
up,
going?
Oscarina? Boo, boo.
Interrupting the conversation.
So she did come to New York, and she was all interested and excited, but we didn't really know each other, and it had been 10 years since we saw each other, so the first few days were okay, and then it went horribly wrong, and she went back to Amsterdam.
Aww.
That's
Did your
okay.
heart broken?
No, my heart was never involved. I wasn't really in love with her or anything. So how you doing tonight?
Tonight is Thursday. Shit. What about you, Oscar?
It's already Friday for me.
It's already Friday. Friday, what time, Esther?
That's right. 1:23. 1:23.
A.M.?
1:23. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 1:23.
Why are you saying it's Friday night? It's Friday morning.
Yeah, Friday morning. But I said it's already Friday.
It's night time for her.
Where's that picture, Esther?
Here you go.
It's in the Alps.
What's
Slick
good,
Rick.
Oscar?
What's up, Slick Rick? How you doing, brother?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. I'm just coming
He's
back to
packing.
an
He's
empty
moving to
apartment.
Florida.
You're in New Jersey?
Yeah, for about 25 more hours.
Oh, okay. He's gonna go pull a Nora. It'll be a sad day. It gotta be a sad day.
He's gonna go full Nora.
No, it's not a sad day. One of the great state of Florida.
He's gonna.
Into every state of knowledge do I.
It's so weird that everybody.
The great door is Bina, Bina is Aima, the fruitful mother of all living. She is the desirable one, the precious thing, more to be. Heavy art thou without grants or grasp this truth. Into every state of knowledge do I enter, into false knowledge as well as into the work of the comment that is easy.
Regardless of the state, why can't you Italian special question now?
It doesn't matter if he meant.
And then when I say this, I just.
Of the New York Post, which has a circulation.
I would have skipped right by that shit if I didn't know who she was. When I saw it from Kentucky, I'm like, whoa.
No, I don't think it would skip because, I mean, right now, the whole thing with Israel, oh my God, Rick.
Sorry. What?
The whole thing with Israel and the anti-Semitism and all of these kind of stuff is like very strong right now and very relevant, and so people pay a lot of attention to these instances.
Fake news.
Yeah.
God, that's not bad.
All right, we got Dodge Republican in the audience.
Let's go, John.
What's going on, Doge? What? You should be the. I feel like you need to be the Department of Clubhouse Efficiency. Or something. You know.
He's
Yeah.
already Clubhouse efficiency.
We got
He's
that make it
over
douche?
simultaneously everywhere. That's a bit.
It's true. Douching is essentially efficiency. I mean, clean away the waste and repopulate it with freshness.
Summer's breeze, Doge?
Spring is in the air.
You sound
For
like nothing
him, it's like
burgers.
Department of Greatness efficiency. He's spreading the greatness everywhere.
Department of Trolling always.
No, he didn't campaign that he was going to pull the plug on every university and deport the anti-Semites. This is like icing on the cake.
Isn't it that amazing?
Yeah, Hanukkah came early.
Why is there so much wealth redistribution to these large universities to begin with?
It's just
It's a nothing. It's a
Because
nothing
it's
burger.
part of the Marxist agenda.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is I can understand people getting grants, but it seems like a huge amount of money that they're sending, and that's just this year alone. So, like, how is Cornell getting $1 billion and Northwestern getting 800 million? Like, is that annual?
Wow.
Is that every other couple years? I mean, it's a huge amount of money.
AI, honey.
friggin' pipeline.
Oh, you've been talking investments all day, dude. Give it a rest, bro.
And this is
Chilling,
this is
talking about
exactly like the same thing that happens with healthcare. You know that the prices are inflated because they are being subsidized by the government. So they're not really paying the price of the degree. They're paying a lot of times more.
Right.
Aren't
I-
you
Like an aspirin costs $20 the same way.
Well, I traded in the stock market the other day, Brock. I made $1.4 million, so I don't need to worry about my YouTube
Yeah,
money.
okay, so that's actually an interesting. Bring that up to the rest of the room too. So Doe says that he has a friend, who explain the story again,
Who
Doe.
bought the
Honey,
dip?
I'm going to bed. Good night, honey.
No, he didn't buy the dip. He borrowed money from the bank to make a bet in the stock
it's a
market,
true story.
which means that he basically had to lie to the bank to some degree.
He did.
as
He
to
committed fraud,
what
and he
this
got
money
banned.
was
He got banned
for.
from the
And
securities
so then
industry.
he pulls it off. He becomes like he retires immediately, and now he's a millionaire.
Yeah, and he
because
bought a ton of real
had
estate, which he
information that other
regrets.
people did it, and he lied to the bank.
Essentially, yeah, he borrowed a huge amount of money and gambled it in the market, made a tremendous amount of money, but he got he got banned from the securities industry, and he took that nest
But
egg.
nothing happened to him legally, though.
No, nothing happened. He just got banned, but he didn't. He got
Yeah,
barred,
they
banned.
They're like, hey, you can't do that. It's like being kicked out of a casino.
Because he violated the covenants and everything else in the loan. He committed fraud. They caught him.
Because
They knew. They figured it out that he had gambled it.
That is not fraud.
It is fraud. He lied. He misdirected the funds. Said it was for one thing else.
That's fine. That's a lie.
I think he generated fake paperwork. He generated fake paperwork documenting other assets to get the loan, which he didn't have. So the whole thing was a
How
fraud.
did he generate fake paperwork?
He just
you have
generated
to
it.
sign documents to get a loan, and if you fund
He didn't physically do it. You're just saying his lie was the fabrication.
Yes.
No, you have to sign a document to you have to make affirmations with
Yeah.
money from
He faked his assets. He got a huge loan. He gambled the loan in the stock market, made a huge amount of money in the market, repaid the loan, but then they figured out it was all fraud, but he still didn't go to jail and got to keep all the profit from the trading.
Okay, well, what about what I'm saying? So, like, let's say you go to a bank and you want to borrow $1 million, and they're like,
Okay.
Brock, what do you need the $1 million for? And I'm like, well, I plan on, and this is all just a crock of crap, right? And I tell them all this. But really, what I'm doing is I have a gambling addiction or whatever, and I'm like, I'm putting it all in on whatever.
Yeah, it could be the casino, it could be the stock market. It doesn't matter. You're creating a lie to get a loan on assets that don't exist.
Right, which we all know is false. And so that was my question to you. Like, there was no repercussions for, like, if I was to do that.
So there's no damage.
What would the repercussions be?
There's no damage because he paid the money back, so there's no tort. So now they would only go after him to make a point. And in fact,
Right.
check it out, the fact that they were fooled is bad for them. So frequently when corporations catch people stealing, and I know this because I've been with big corporations, they don't publicize it and they don't prosecute.
Exactly, because basically what you're saying at that point is like, if you put this on blast, you're basically saying like, this dude from Tennessee or Iowa or California or whatever, he freaking got your ass.
Listen, the big banks, and big lenders make errors all the time, and a lot of those errors are based on fraud.
Yeah, but why are you gonna publicize that like people?
They
are
don't.
taking
They keep it hush hush because they don't want to cause panic to the investors or the savers. But there's so much
because
fraud
the
in the
moment it
financial
comes to,
services.
like,
It's
a
huge.
legislator, Like the moment it comes to that, like, dude, it's you're putting yourself out there for the media because
Look, but it's political too. Look at what Schiff is trying to do to Marjorie Taylor Greene and others who traded off of the Truth Social information that Trump said you should buy the stock market now. Some people who follow Truth Social had a little insider news to that, so these politicians are using that against them, saying we need to investigate them for insider trading.
It's never gonna change though. Do you agree with that? Like, I mean, oh my god.
No, it's just communication. It's just information exchanging and moving, and that's how that's how markets move. Information travels, brain to brain.
I'm not sure what you're saying right now.
I'm saying that
Basically,
politicians.
what you're saying is the only way to solve this whole thing is the New World Order, where we all like get together in the middle of the woods and start a fire, and then have like these really long staffs and like share information that nobody else in the world knows about. Because otherwise, people are going to be people.
Yeah, welcome to Truth Social.
That's literally exactly what I've been saying for years.
Okay, as long as there's no glory holes, I guess I'm okay with it.
Right.
Well, where's Ryan? Because Ryan, has a lot to say about glory holing.
I hadn't ever heard it used as a verb before.
Yeah, it's
All
karma.
I need is the bonus hole.
Do you think the all-seeing eye is technically the butthole? Because I've seen the triangle that surrounds the
So it's
butthole.
like a glory hole situation, but there's another hole.
No, the bonus hole is a vagina. The vagina is the bonus hole.
Oh, that's the regular one.
No, it's for F words, it's a bonus.
Oh, I see for F words. So Doge, Norman Mailer wrote about that in one of his last books, which was really not good at all, about the CIA.
What did he say? That they're responsible for killing John F.
Kind
Kennedy?
of what you're saying about the all-seeing eye.
It's in every single federal building. I mean, it's definitely pointing to a miracle that this country was ever even developed and has a constitution, which is a charter. I mean, we have a philosophy. It's on the dollars. That's the most wild thing.
Showering?
That's the craziest thing about money is everybody wants it, but no one ever takes the time to actually study the hieroglyphics, the symbols, the sigils that are on the paper currency that everybody is complaining about not having enough of. But yet they have no idea what is on that artwork / paper known as dollars.
Why is it called money? Is it because the only way to get it is to end up on monies? Is it because money needs some money?
No, I think if you take it back to hunters and gatherers, if we're hoarding all of these things, eventually we're going to have to build a wall around this because people thieve shit. And then they realize, like, oh my God, like, this has value. People want this. And so then they created currency.
Well, everybody's technically working 40 hours a week for an art collection. That's what's truly happening. But no one is actually creating any additional art to compete with the art collection that they're harvesting from all their time.
Wow, that's a crazy statement there, Adrian, because is it art or physical labor that gets shit done? Like,
It's all being stored in everybody's cell phone.
Stare at this photo on the wall for 2 minutes and still not be able to figure it out. And what have you accomplished? Some kind of mental, I just can't get behind that.
I don't know. Do you buy bacon or do you eat Twinkies or like Hostesses? Like, what's your diet like, and how big are your shits in the morning?
Well, thank you for acknowledging that I shit in the morning. I do take one shit as soon as I get up. It's usually pretty solid. I don't eat Hostess or Twinkies, but I do have a newfound addiction for the Nutty Buddy. It's like a moon pie.
Yeah, those are
Kinda
good.
thing.
You get them at the dollar store, right?
I've only eaten one box. Like I say, like I just had that. Like somebody told me about
Dollar
it.
General.
Oh my, no, Walmart neighborhood.
Oh, Walmart neighborhood.
Yeah.
Do they sell them at local at Targets?
But I usually do like steak, shrimp, taters, corn on the cob, little garlic bread, fettuccine alfredo.
So what you're saying is you eat like a king.
Eat like a king. That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have much else going on in my life, brother.
Do you do push-ups? Do you do sit-ups? Do you jog? Do you power walk? How do you stay fit to, essentially burn off all these calories?
I just sling Coca-Cola. I'm lifting 12 packs, 24 packs all day. I do
Amazing.
I do a push-up.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? And are all the teeth in your mouth?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
God in this dude, John.
I'm just asking questions. Jeez. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to know the guy.
Yes, sir.
It sound like you're trying to frick him.
Frick him?
My whole diet consists of beans and bologna.
I got beans and bologna.
Remember that movie?
What movie is what? Big O?
He's trying to frick her. He's trying to frick her.
What movie was that? I know what you're talking about.
I think it was Meet the Fockers, man.
That's a great movie, dude. Those are funny. Those were funny movies. Yeah, dude. Like.
Wait, I thought Claw and Brock were the same person.
Wow.
How's Adrian Dittman and Elon Musk chatting in the same room?
When it comes to like movies like Meet the Fockers, that's something that generationally, like I think it's funny. My parents think it's funny, right? So when you can find a movie that you both can.
I'm sorry, but MAGA Americans do not think Ben Stiller or Robert De Niro are funny anymore. They've been canceled.
Yeah, but what's the next best movie like that?
Just Caddyshack, any classic movie, but it turns out all those movies are retarded.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Taking you out, bro.
Doge, who'd you say?
I love Brock. Yeah, he's very handsome.
Thank you. I love that.
Let's go. Shout out.
Okay. So then, what would be the next equivalent movie to
Tommy Boy, there's 100 funny movies, but Meet the Fockers is not on the list anymore because De Niro has been canceled. Yeah, 40-Year-Old Virgin's up there. That's a good movie.
Yeah, 40-Year-Old Virgin. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like movies like that from our age.
Yeah, brother.
Dude, answer my freaking question.
No, but Robert De Niro and Ben Stiller have been canceled. They're no longer included in the list.
What's another one after the release date?
Who the hell are you?
They're out. They're out in the new MAGA America. You think you're ever going to see? You think you're going to see their comedies anymore? I mean, Adam Sandler's new Happy Gilmore movie looks retarded. All of Adam Sandler's movies are stupid now because they're made for China. They're made for Netflix.
Yeah, he's in that one with Jennifer Lopez. The freaking, you know what I'm talking about on the little yacht thing? It's like is it a Halloween thing? It's like a murder mystery.
Yeah, that was the dumbest waste of 2 hours of my life. I was like, is this really? Why did they even bother making this movie? It's so stupid. So stupid.
It was cool to see them both in the same frame, but other than that, like, it's like, dude, give it up, man. Like, just like be in the credits and just quit going on screen.
It's got to be family friendly, otherwise it's just they don't make it. They just view everything as it has to be, rated. What is that? Rated PG or something? It's got, it's got to be generic.
It's not PG, dude. You're trolling with that.
Really? You thought that movie? What is it? PG-13 probably.
Like, what is PG these days?
I don't know.
Tell me that.
That's why I just call it Made for China.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean the Chinese Congressional Committee should investigate Made for China movies made here in America instead of worrying about Chinese taking over.
I remember when the first Home Alone dropped, and that was the very first Home Alone was rated PG, and they're literally freaking hitting people in the head with bricks. So you tell me what your definition of
See, those were good movies, though. Those were like quintessential American movies. I mean, those are solid films. Those are comedies.
Hold on. Did you say the quintessential Gambini?
No, quintessential films. That Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin is like a very pure American movie. It's a good comedy.
That's my shit. Do you know what movie that's from? The quintessential Gambini? Who knows what movie that's from?
I don't know. That sounds like some foreign shit.
My Cousin Vinny, bro. It's a classic.
I love that movie.
He goes, he's acting like the quintessential Gambini. That was when Ralph Macchio stopped, wasn't kicking anyone anymore, and then he went into, from Karate Kid, he went to My Cousin Vinny.
The king is here. King is here.
Do y'all remember Red Dragon?
Though, if you've not seen
Y'all remember Red Dragon with the little dude?
What is Red Dragon?
Little Chinese dude?
Yeah, it's that's because there's so many youths. There's 2 youths, all right, youths.
I'm sorry.
Rush.
Oh, okay.
Youths. I said youths.
Did you lose money in the market today, Martel?
Are you mocking me with that outfit?
Yeah, I did. I stayed out. I mean, I
She
still
said,
have.
"Are you mocking me with that outfit?" Just to be clear.
I'm not too worried because I sold my big winners yesterday.
Oh, damn. Somebody
That's the most annoying thing is when I was trading options, like I didn't even have the ability to like successfully trade the contracts because it's like all just off of my phone. I don't see the spread and just like winging my ass, and it's just hard. It's hard to trade, man.
Because it was,
That's the thing.
I was never trigger man, and they were talking about you were like Indian or something like that. There was something.
That's the same way. Like I like to see everything, right? The spreads, the volume, the IV, the intraday volatility. Like that's hard to do. If I'm away from my desk, my office, I'm trading.